Welcome. I'm the White Rabbit Witch. Join me and tap the subscribe button below. Now, let's step into today's story.
Northern Himalayas. Altitude 4,800 meters. Chihiram Monastery stood buried among snowstorms and jagged rocks, a place forgotten by the world, held together by a single rule: never open that door. The door was on the northern wall, not near the prayer hall, not by the kitchens, nor the monks' quarters. No one went there now. But once, something had been sealed behind it. And then, 18 winters ago, a child arrived. She was alone. The adult who came with her disappeared after 3 days. Only the girl remained. Her name, unknown. Her age, unclear. But there was one thing that everyone remembered. Her left eye shimmered violet. In certain light, it glowed red. In shadow, a glint of purple. People found themselves staring, and sometimes forgetting their prayers mid-chant. Master Lin, the monastery's spiritual head, took her in, named her Saha. Saha grew quickly into the rituals of the monastery. Faster than others, her prayers were flawless. But more than anything, she began to say, "I saw it." When Saha turned 11, a fire erupted in the village below. That same night, she dreamt of flames licking the earth and something crawling from the fire. The villagers came running, breathless. "How did you know?" Saha said nothing, but Master Lin only nodded softly. "She can feel it." It wasn't the last time. A wounded animal, a collapsing monk mid-prayer, cracking ice beneath fresh snow. She always sensed it first, as if her eye wasn't just seeing, it was warning him. Came the spring she turned 19, and with it, death. The first was a monk, found near the well. No bruises, no wounds, just gone. That night Saha dreamt of a black hand wrapping around her throat, crushing bone, stealing breath. She woke up, gasping. The next morning, Master Lin wasn't in the prayer hall. She was standing in front of that door, still, silent, the prayer beads in her hand hanging loose. For the first time, Saha saw something foreign on her master's face. Fear. 2 more followed. Outsiders, once connected to the monastery. Saha knew them, their voices, their hands, their prayers. She couldn't stay silent anymore. "Master, this isn't coincidence." Lin lowered her head. "So, you feel it too?" Saha nodded. Her left eye had been burning for days. She couldn't look in the mirror. And when she prayed, something was whispering the words back. Then one evening, Master Lin called her in. A small wooden box. Inside, an old photograph and a torn envelope. The photo showed Lin, young, beside a man in clergy robes, his face stern, hers smiling. "His name is Courier," she said. "He helped me seal that door long ago. Saha stayed quiet. If we don't find him, this cannot be stopped. She picked up the envelope. The words on it were scribbled in haste. The key is about to awaken. The next day, Master Lin was gone. She was found by the door, still shut, but beneath her, a pool of violet blood. Saha sat beside her. As the monks finished their prayers, Master Lin took her final breath. Wrapped in her hand, a strand of worn prayer beads, and on her lips, a name, Courier. That night, Saha packed her things. The photograph, the envelope, the beads now tied to her own wrist. She stepped into the cold. Only 2 remained, she thought. 2 more lives must be spared. And she had to know what she truly was. So she walked on, toward the Vatican, toward the answers, toward the door that should never be opened. When she arrived in the Vatican, Saha felt, for the first time, what it truly meant to be in the world. People, smells, sounds. Everything was unfamiliar. The alleys were twisted, the markets crowded, and in the air, a mixture of smoke, spices, and warm bread. She stood still for a long while, right in front of a street cart selling fries. She took one crisp bite and whispered softly, "I wish Master Lin were here with me." Tears welled in her eyes, but quietly she wiped them away with her sleeve. Then, without hesitation, she headed for the secret archive. It was time to find him. Courier. His name was the only actionable clue Lin had left. She had to find him. If he remembered anything, they could start again. Saha reached the gray door, the one even the priests avoided. It smelled faintly of alcohol. When she pushed it open, she saw a man between stacks of dusty books, wearing not a robe, but a wrinkled shirt. Father Courier? The man didn't look up. Is Lin still alive? No, she's gone. That moment, he lifted his head. His eyes, dazed, almost frozen in time. But then, a flicker. Something came alive. A wine bottle on the desk toppled to the floor. He quietly picked it up and dropped it into the trash. At the sink, Corey shaved his beard. The razor was old, dull, but his hands, steady, practiced. In the mirror, his face still looked tired and hollow. But once the beard was gone, his jawline, his gaze, yes, he was once an exorcist. He put on his priest's robe without a word. That eye of yours, it's still open, isn't it? Saha looked away, without meaning to. Master Lin, she believed in you. Lin always believed in the wrong things, Corey said with a short laugh. But it didn't last long. Still, if she called my name at the end, I guess that's reason enough to stand back up. 2 sacrifices remained. Lin had left a list, and Saha had seen them over and over in her dreams, always burning. The demon king, Elazeth, was already stirring. Time was slipping, and neither of them needed to say it aloud. One was a girl near an old shrine outside Kyoto. The other, an ex-monk hiding in a ruined castle in Eastern Europe. We split, Corey said, and meet again in Vatican. Saha nodded. I'll go to Japan. That girl, she feels unstable. Good, I'll find the monk. He's been seeing that door open in his dreams for years. And so that day, they boarded separate flights. Beneath the Vatican sky, the story had finally begun to move. Outskirts of Kyoto. On a misty morning, Saha walked along a quiet forest path until she reached an old shrine. After passing beneath a crimson torii gate, she was led to a small building behind the shrine. Inside was quieter than outside. Old religious paintings hung on the walls. The wooden floor was spotless. At the center, a small space surrounded by 2 layers of sacred rope. Inside it, a girl sat. She looked to be around Saha's age, kneeling, hands folded in prayer. She didn't move, didn't look. Saha stopped walking, held her breath. Then, the girl slowly turned her head. Her shoulders remained still. Only the neck moved gracefully. The moment Saha saw her face, she froze. The left eye, shimmering with a strange hue, not red, not black, violet. Saha couldn't speak. Her own left eye burned, and instinctively, she knew that it's the same as mine. That night, rain began to fall. Saha woke to a strange sensation. From beyond the window, a sound. Sss. Something dragging. Something unnatural. Just behind the wall. Saha held her breath. She thought of the girl behind the ropes. No time for weapons. She ran. She flung open the prayer hall doors and froze. A creature towered before her, larger than a man. Its body was covered in coarse black fur. Its form, twisted, half spider, half bull. Thick legs ending in blade-like claws. 2 eyes glowing beneath its matted hair. It was Elazeth's servant, a cursed beast from ancient scrolls. The yokai, Akagumo, the red spider. Saha lunged forward, hurling a talisman, and severed one of its legs. But a tendril lashed out from its back, striking her arm. She fell, gritting her teeth as she rose and lit a second talisman. The creature screamed, engulfed in flames. Gone. Saha stumbled to the shrine door. Are you okay? But inside, only silence. The girl lay on the floor, her violet eye gone. She slowly raised her hand, uncovered her left eye. Sometimes that eye showed her things, places she'd never seen. Stone rooms, altars soaked in blood, prayers written upside down, and a black hand brushing past her sight. They weren't her memories. These are someone's final moments, the last thing they saw before dying. Saha opened her eyes and understood. Elazeth wasn't dead. He had simply been watching, firms both eyes. And now she understood. There weren't 5 sacrifices, there were 6, and the last one was her. To awaken fully, Elazeth needed a complete vessel. That vessel was Saha. Days later, in a small hospital in Kyoto, Saha leaned against the rooftop railing, her bandaged arms still aching beneath the overcast sky. The elevator chimed. The doors opened. Father Courier stepped out. Beside him, an elderly man in a gray monk's robe, the last sacrifice Lin had spoken of. "Father, we're here." Courier's voice was low. Saha lowered her gaze. "The girl, she died. The yokai came. I couldn't stop it." Courier looked at her arm, then nodded. "Elazeth has begun to move." The monk finally spoke. "Then, it's time. We must bring it all together." Saha took out a folded note. "This is the last coordinate Master Lin left me." They looked at one another, and then they set off to prepare for what would come next. They'd have to speak. They already knew. The path was set north to the Himalayas, to the place where it all began, the place Master Lin had guarded with her life. Jahiram Monastery, the land of the first seal, and now the place where everything would end. Sa walked in silence. Beside her, Father Courier, the monk, and the final sacrifice. 4 of them, moving toward their last fight. The wind grew harsher as they climbed. Thin air bit into their skin. The mountain groaned beneath them, and when they reached the gates of Chihiram, they stood wide open. "It's open," Courier murmured. "Someone got here first." Inside, the monastery had gone still, not peaceful, but breathless. At the center of the prayer hall, the ceiling glyph was cracked. Deep, uneven lines stretching across sacred stone. Black mist crept out from beneath it, soft, cold, and in that moment, Sa felt it, a sharp pulse behind her left eye, as if something were waking. Elazeth, the name left her lips, and the world shook. The temple walls twisted, symbols unraveling like burning thread. Smoke poured upward from the altar. It rose, formless, reaching for the ceiling. The air itself began to breathe. "It's been a while, Sa." The voice came from inside her. She tried to inhale, but her body refused. "Sa." Corey's voice cut through, but too late, her left eye flared red. Her body convulsed, and she dropped to her knees. Across her back, a black mark burned into her skin, not drawn, etched, like it had always been there, waiting. Her hands twisted, fingers lengthened, claws. She opened her mouth, but the voice that came out, "Now I am complete." Her pupils split down the center. Her skin faded to gray, then darkened. Veins like ink beneath a cracking surface. The floor beneath her split, and from the altar, shadows moved. Not smoke, but something alive. Tentacles rose into the air, drifting, searching, reaching for them. Saha stood, but it wasn't a human movement. Her spine bent. It wasn't her. Her eyes, her smile, even the way she stood. All of it was twisted, but Korea saw her. Somewhere beneath it all, Saha was still there. Saha. He reached into his coat, fingers trembling, and pulled out the last seal, the one Lin had entrusted to him. Your master was my friend, and you're the last child I promised to protect. Elazeth laughed. It echoed from her lips, but it wasn't her laugh. It was wrong, like a child's smile drawn over a monster's face. How pitiful, it said. You can't defeat me. Korea didn't wait. He charged forward. Saha, no, the Demon King, struck him back without lifting a hand. His body hit the stone wall. He collapsed, jobby, coughing blood. Weak, old, useless. And then her eyes flickered. Just for a moment. Behind the red mist, a trace of her real eyes. He saw them. With bloodied hands, he lifted the seal and began to speak. Nameless one, I pined your true name. Your voice, your memory, your flesh. I sever them now. Stop! Elazeth roared, but Korea kept going. Saha dropped to her knees, both hands clutching her head. Two beings fighting in one body. Blood dripped down her arms. Her claws dug into her own skin. Stop, please. It was her voice. Saha. Korea smiled. You're back. That's enough. And then he pressed the seal to his own heart. A sound like thunder. A flash of white light. The entire hall trembled. And then everything fell silent. Combination. She opened her eyes. In her hands, pieces of the broken seal. Asians, in front of her. Korea's body. Father. She dropped to her knees. His chest soaked in blood. His hand still. He had burned away his life to bring her back. No. And for the first time, Saha cried. Truly cried. Don't leave me, please. But no voice answered. Only the sound of rain. Soft, steady. The sky wept with her. And in the ruins of the monastery, Anaheim remained,